Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Romeo. We got to talk a little bit about cheating. Is it ever not the cheater's fault when it comes to your relationships? And then about getting fired. What's the craziest reason you ever got fired?
So I got this text messages. Good morning, Romeo. I've been married to my husband for 10 years, and these past years have been amazing. Why do you guys always start with this? I thought I would regret marrying young at 21, but my husband is just amazing. We have one child together and another one on the way. So 2 nights ago, we got into a deep conversation about what would you have done if you never married me? Why would you even have that conversation? For me, I would have chose my husband and marry him all over again, would have done it sooner if possible. But for my husband, he would have married his ex-girlfriend. Why would he say that to you? Hey, Romeo, I knew him when he was dating that girl, and he chose me over her. I asked him, why her? He said, because she was there for me for my darkest moments. I lost my job. I got evicted from my house. I got kicked out of school, and she was there when I needed someone the most. But I chose you, and I gave you what I promised her. There was one question I wanted to ask him, Romeo, but I'm scared of the answer. If she ever contacted you and wanted to work on things, would you leave our family that we have built for her? I fear the answer. Well, you should fear the answer, because it's obvious the answer is he would leave you for her. I don't even know if he'd leave you. You know, he'd probably just cheat on you with her. But why would you have that conversation? And why would he talk to you like that? What kind of man? I mean, you're telling me your husband's great, but what kind of man tells you that? Tells you, oh yeah, I would have married my ex instead of you if I could do it all over again. I mean, what? Of course he would choose her. To have that type of conversation and tell your wife and the mother of your children, that's not good. Check out this text message I got. Good morning, Romeo. I've been married to my husband for 10 years, and these past years have been amazing. I thought I would regret marrying young at 21, but my husband is just amazing. We have one child together, another one on the way. 2 nights ago, we got into a deep conversation about what would you have done if you never married me. For me, I would choose my husband and marry him all over again. If possible, I would have married him sooner. But for my husband, he would have married his ex-girlfriend. Romeo, I knew him when he was dating this girl, and he chose me over her. I asked him why her, and he said because she was there for me in my darkest moments, when I lost my job, when I got evicted from my house, I got kicked out of school. She was there when I needed someone the most. But I chose you, and I gave you what I promised her. There's one question I want to ask Romeo, but I'm scared to answer, or for him to answer. If she ever contacted you and wanted to work things out, would you leave our family that we built for her? I fear the answer to that. Well, the question is, well, I guess you should fear the answer to that. Why would you have that conversation to begin with? Alrighty, 4254777. Hey, Romeo, this is just another example of someone getting what they deserved. Why would she ask that question about her husband? What would you do if you could, what would you do if you could do it all over again? Yeah, why would you have that question with your husband and wife? Unless you're not, I mean, why would you have that question? Why would you have that conversation? Especially a decade in. I mean, she must just feel so, and I'm assuming she's the one who brought it up. I'm guessing. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe he brought it up. But you're right. Why did she? If she brought it up, why did you bring up that conversation? I guess you're right. You got what you deserved. You know, you shouldn't have. Why would you have that conversation? Already 4254777. Hey, Romeo. It's a good thing she didn't ask her husband what he would do if the ex came back into his life, because he would definitely leave her, or at least cheat on her with her. I think that too. I believe that too. But you don't want the answer. You've already gotten the answer. And here's the other thing about this conversation. You've already gotten a pretty brutal answer to what would you have done if you could do it over again. And he said, marry his ex-girlfriend, not you. And you've already gotten that answer. So what's one more? I mean, If she wants to work it out with him, what's one more? You think they're still not in contact with each other? You think he isn't still talking to her? I mean, so I got this. Good morning, Rome. I've been married for my husband for 10 years. In the past years have been amazing. I thought I would regret marrying young. I got married at 21, but my husband is amazing. We have 2 children together and another on the way. So 2 nights ago, we got into a deep conversation about what would you have done if you had never married me. For me, I would have chose my husband and marry him all over again. Would have done it if sooner if possible. For my husband, he would have married his ex-girlfriend, Romeo. I knew him when he was dating that girl, and he chose me over her. I've asked him why her, and he said because she was there for me at some of the darkest moments in my life. Lost my job, got evicted from my house, got kicked out of school, and she was there when I needed someone the most. But I chose you, and I gave you what I promised her. There was one question I wanted to ask him, Romeo, but I'm scared to answer. If she ever contacted you and wanted to work on things, would you leave our family that we have built for her? Fear of what he might say. Yeah, I would be afraid too. RD4254-777. Hey, Rome, why do these women always ask these questions? Not ready for the answers. I mean, 84254-777, that's pretty common though. It's human nature, right? Why do we ask stupid questions? Why do we ask things that we don't want answers to? Because we expect to get the answer we want. That's why. No, we want the answer. We just want the answer that we want. That's why we do it. RD4254-777. But you're right. Don't have a conversation. If you aren't prepared for what could happen, then don't have that conversation. So I got this. Good morning, Rome. I've been married for my husband for 10 years. In the past years have been amazing. I thought I would regret marrying young. I got married at 21, but my husband is amazing. We have 2 children together and another on the way. So 2 nights ago, we got into a deep conversation about what would you have done if you had never married me. For me, I would have chose my husband and marry him all over again. Would have done it if sooner if possible. For my husband, he would have married his ex-girlfriend, Romeo. I knew him when he was dating that girl, and he chose me over her. I've asked him why her, and he said because she was there for me at some of the darkest moments in my life. Lost my job, got evicted from my house, got kicked out of school, and she was there when I needed someone the most. But I chose you, and I gave you what I promised her. There was one question I wanted to ask him, Romeo, but I'm scared to answer. If she ever contacted you and wanted to work on things, would you leave our family that we have built for her? Fear of what he might say. Yeah, I would be afraid too. RD4254-777. Hey, good morning, Romeo. The real question is, if he wanted to give his ex that life, then why did they break up? See, and that's a question we need answered to figure out what would be the next step. Maybe the ex broke up with him because of the way he acted. Who knows? We don't know. So maybe she is worried about if the ex ever comes back into his life, how that would play out. I mean, that's a very good question. Hey, Romeo, it seems like she interfered with the relationship during his bad time and broke up that relationship in order for him to choose her. Must have still been with the ex-girlfriend. Well, that's another question. You said you knew him when he was with the ex-girlfriend. Why did he choose you? Maybe were you the reason? Did you cause him to break up with his ex? It's another good question we don't have an answer to. I got this. Good morning, Rome. I've been married for my husband for 10 years. In the past years have been amazing. I thought I would regret marrying young. I got married at 21, but my husband is amazing. We have 2 children together and another on the way. So 2 nights ago, we got into a deep conversation about what would you have done if you had never married me. For me, I would have chose my husband and marry him all over again. Would have done it if sooner if possible. For my husband, he would have married his ex-girlfriend, Romeo. I knew him when he was dating that girl, and he chose me over her. I've asked him why her, and he said because she was there for me at some of the darkest moments in my life. Lost my job, got evicted from my house, got kicked out of school, and she was there when I needed someone the most. But I chose you, and I gave you what I promised her. There was one question I wanted to ask him, Romeo, but I'm scared to answer. If she ever contacted you and wanted to work on things, would you leave our family that we have built for her? Fear of what he might say. Yeah, I would be afraid too.
Hey there. So I don't think she would have that insecurity if she were to ask him the question, why did you choose me over her to begin with? And I think that answer would erase the other question, would you leave me now for her?
Oh, that's fair. I could see, yeah, but Did she ask that? No, she didn't ask that question. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
She's a little insecure, so.
Well, why would you have that conversation to begin with? The whole idea of just saying, that's like saying, hey, we've been together 10 years. How many girls have you banged out? How many dudes have you slept with? I mean, why are we having this conversation at this point anyways? You know what I'm
she's
saying?
a little bit of a weirdo to want to have that conversation. So I think that might have thrown him off too. And he's like, he's honest. She's weird.
All right. I do like that, though. I guess she could ask him, why did you choose me as a follow-up? Then that would alleviate the, why did you, would you, if she came back, what would you do? I like that idea.
Exactly.
You're kind of sneaky.
That answer would leave her feeling real good. So.
Hey, that's kind of a sneaky way to do things. You're kind of shysty. Thanks for calling.
Have a good day.
You too. Yeah, what's going on?
Romeo, that guy is an idiot, Romeo.
That guy is an idiot. Okay.
Why would you tell your wife to it that if you do it all over again, you'd marry somebody else?
Yeah, that's I would say that's a stupid thing to say. Yes.
Very stupid. Raider Dave has been married 4 days, and I know better than that. You're supposed to make them feel, that you can't go without them, that they're the last, that they're your everything. So if he's listening, tell her you were just playing. You were drunk. You were kidding. It was a lie.
All right, Raider Dave.
Right.
I don't disagree with you. All right, Raider Dave. Although I don't think that'll work. You can't say you were just kidding. That's not going to happen. The bell's already been rung. You can't unring the bell. All right, 842-547-7. Yeah, he never should have said that, but she should have never asked. Why are you even having that conversation? I was telling you this story about these people I know. I've known them for a while, but I haven't seen them in a while. Husband and wife. And she ended up cheating on him. And this was about a year ago, I think. She ended up cheating on him. Well, I ran into him the other night, and they're actually getting back together, working it out, and we were talking about it. And I guess he was saying that part of the reason, or all the reason, I don't know which one it was, but he took responsibility saying he was working too much, wasn't giving her attention, wasn't spending any time with her, was just basically busy, right? And so they're working it out. Apparently she got lonely. He wasn't around. She cheated on him. But I don't know if that's right or not. I don't know if I really don't know what to think about it, to be honest with you, because I don't think you need to cheat. You guys know I'm against cheating. I hate cheaters. I think it's a terrible thing to do to somebody. I think there's a lot of other options other than cheating. But the way they were explaining it to me, as a couple, by me understand it, that it was kind of like a wake-up call for his marriage, and he didn't realize what was going on. So evidently, her talking to him about it didn't open his eyes. And I want to say that she said I want to refine. We were drinking, so I want to say that she said he had told her, or she had told him, hey, I need more attention from you. He didn't pay attention, but her cheating, opened his eyes. So he took responsibility, and now they're, I guess, working it out. Already 42547-7, but are you responsible? If you're the cheatee, no, if you were cheated on, I don't know how to say it. Do you have any responsibility for your spouse cheating on you? Or is it just all on the cheater? Already 42547-7, Rome. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Maybe. I mean, you're always a cheater because you cheated, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to cheat again. That's like saying once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. Yep, that's true. But doesn't mean you're going to drink again. So I don't know what you mean by that statement, but okay. I was talking to a couple that I know, and she cheated on him. Okay. And now let me explain, because the reasoning that she used for cheating on this guy was he was working too much, never around, didn't pay any attention to her. Well, they're working it out because he took accountability for the fact that, I wasn't there for her. So she cheated. So apparently this opened his eyes. Now they're working it out. Can you ever blame yourself for being cheated on? I don't know. Yeah, what's going on?
What's up, Romeo? Look, man, I gotta say, nothing justifies cheating. You know what I mean? Like, if you want out, just tell your spouse or your partner. I think you should let them know.
Hold on. Let me tell you. I totally agree with that. Totally. But it made sense when they were explaining it to me. Like, they were explaining, okay, I felt this way. I told him he wouldn't change. The cheating is what made him realize that, okay, I want this woman, and I screwed up. And I'm not agreeing with it. It made sense to me when he explained it to me.
Right, yeah. It just, man, I agree with you. I do not like cheaters at all. Because like I said, everybody has choices. You got an option. You can always get out of that relationship. You do not have to be in there. And I can't speak for everybody, but nobody hold a gun to your head. Like, hey,
I agree with you. But here's my only question. And that's why I said this. Do you have to take any responsibility for being cheated on? Because if she wouldn't have cheated and just left, would they be better off? Maybe not. Maybe they're meant to be together, and the cheating is what made him realize. So now they're going to be great. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm just throwing it out there because, like I said, what they were telling me kind of made sense.
Absolutely. Hey, only time will tell.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
All right, bro.
Later, man. But I agree with you. I don't think there's any excuse for cheating. None whatsoever. But just hear me out. Based on their logic, she said she's not getting enough attention from her husband. He does nothing about it. Keeps going along with the program. So she has two options. She could leave him or she can cheat on him. She chose to cheat on him, and supposedly now their marriage is getting better. It's getting back on track because he realizes, wait a second, when she talked to me about it, it didn't work. If she would have left, what would have happened? Maybe that would have opened his eyes if she left him. I don't know. All I'm saying, is there any scenario where you have to take responsibility for being cheated on? Talking about cheaters, right? Cheating. Is there any reason or any point or any example of where you need to take responsibility for you being cheated on? Or is it just always the cheater's fault? This couple I know was explaining it to me that he just wasn't present in his marriage. She cheated on him about a year ago. Now they're back together. Opened his eyes. Couldn't believe it. Now, supposedly, they're on the path to foreverness, according to them. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Romeo? Hey, I heard it, and I don't know. I mean, how can you forgive that?
How can you forgive?
Yes. I mean, it's always going to be on the table. She cheated, obviously, because she didn't love the guy. And if she's using that as an excuse, oh, you were not there for me, so I wouldn't cheat on you, now let's work it out, it's going to happen again. I guarantee you. She's going to cheat on him again, and she's going to bring up another excuse why she did it.
Okay, I guess time will tell. I can't argue with you. I mean, that sounds right. But like I said, man, they were explaining it to me together, and it made sense when they were telling me that.
It might make sense, but you know, you can't justify that. That's how much you value yourself, how much he values himself. You can't put yourself in a situation, I wasn't there, so she got to cheat, and now we're going to work it out. It's not going to work. It might work for a little bit because, he forgave me, but she's going to do it again. And I feel bad for the guy, but you know what? He needs to just look in the mirror and say, you know what? That's not a reason why you had to betray me like that. Okay. That's betrayal.
All right, man. All right. Later, brother. I don't disagree with you guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm against cheaters, and I think it's despicable. I think it's the worst thing you can do to somebody. But when they were explaining to me how he took responsibility. Oh my God, I wasn't there for her, and she wanted me to be. She told me she wanted me to be there for her, and nothing she said worked. She cheated on me, and now I realized, oh my God, I'm a loser forever. So I don't know. You tell me. Alrighty, 4254777. Yo, Rome, she brainwashed him. Maybe. I don't know, because All I'm saying is this. I agree with what you guys are saying. Cheaters are cheaters. Hell with them. But they made sense to me the other night. It's crazy. All right. But I mean, do you think that you should ever take responsibility? And you know what I think the problem is? The problem is it's because she cheated. What if he cheated? You guys would be standing up for him. Well, she wasn't giving him sex. I think you guys are a little skewed by the fact that it was her and not him. I was talking to a couple that I know, and she cheated on him. They're working it out. He took responsibility, and his logic was she had told him, hey, you're not spending enough time with me. You're not present in our marriage. And the way that she opened his eyes was by cheating on him. So, is there ever a time when it's your fault you got cheated on? All right, 842-547-7 that you need to take a little bit of responsibility. I don't know. Hey, Rome, in regards to what you're talking about, would you take back your ex that cheated on you? I would never do it, no. I am completely against cheating. I think it's the absolute worst thing that you can do to somebody. Self-esteem, ego, everything. I think it's terrible. But just listen to their logic. Their logic is, he wouldn't be there for me. I tried to tell him. He wasn't there. So I had two options: to leave him, cheat on him. Right? Now, maybe leaving would have worked. Maybe if she left him, he would have said, wait a second, I got to get her back. But would that have changed the scenario? Or she cheated on him, and he realized, oh my God, I'm going to lose my wife. I'm going to lose everything, because cheating is the worst thing you could do. We can agree upon that, right? So, you tell me? 424-254-7-7. It made sense to me. That was my point. It made sense to me when they were explaining this to me. I didn't know what to think. Hey, Rome, let's see here. 842-547-7. Hey, Rome, he's just a dumbass. She played him. See, and I think because she cheated and he didn't cheated, you guys are being a little biased. Because if some man cheats because his wife doesn't give him sex, you're going to be, well, what do you expect the man to do? His wife wasn't giving it up. Well, what's the difference? She wasn't getting the attention she wanted out of her husband. What's the difference?
Romeo.
Yeah.
Yo, she's for the streets, man. Certified Tatiana.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, because relationships are about communication. She was better off just leaving him. I think that would have worked out a lot better, because now he got one on her. When she's in her happiest of moments, she's going to get cheated on. Watch. I hope she does.
Okay. All right.
And that's just the way it goes, And one thing, why are women like that? Here this man is trying to work his hardest, and she cheats on him. But if he was at home every day, she would have cheated on him because he's a broke bum.
Okay, then why is it okay for men to cheat when their wives won't give them sex?
I don't know. I don't believe in cheating, so I believe in communication. You got to have an open communication. If it's not working, go your separate ways. Come back when it is. But once you cheat, that's it. What you put into the universe, get back eventually. All right.
I'm not going to argue with you guys because I agree with you guys. I just think that there is. I'm not going to argue with you guys, okay? Because you're right. Raider Dave's right. I believe that too. But if you want to be with somebody, right? It just, their logic made sense to me the way they were explaining it to me. That's what needed to be done to save their marriage. And apparently it's working right now. So, I mean, do you ever take responsibility for the fact that you got cheated on? Is it ever your fault? I don't know. Hey, Romeo, I got divorced for the same reason that I was working a lot of hours when I first started working in the oil fields. Her respond why she did it. She did it just that. She was lonely. I was never home or spent time with her, but I got lonely too. I was around a bunch of oil field guys, but as a man, I had to work to provide. But with all the hours I worked, she drove a new car and lives in a nice house. So if a man don't work, is she going to cheat too? And if we work lots of hours to provide, we still get screwed because we're gone too long? So I would not go back to her. Here's the thing about that is I'm not saying cheating's right by any means, but think about it. You guys try to justify your decision to work long hours by saying, well, I bought her a house, I bought her a car. Guess what? Figure it out. If she wants you to be present in the marriage, you got to figure it out. You got to figure out a way to do it in whatever way that is, and not just say, well, I got you a house, I got you a car. You should be happy. Some women want it all. Some women want a house and a car. Some women want a husband. Every woman's different. So you either need to find the woman that fits your lifestyle, or you need to figure out how to fit her lifestyle. It's that simple.
Already 42547-7. Hey, Rome. I say there's no excuse. My ex-wife thought the grass was greener on the other side of the road, just to find out that he was still staying with his parents at the age of 35. I'm living my best life while she's struggling to keep a roof over her head with 3 baby daddies and 5 kids. The first 3 kids are mine. 2 of my kids are grown. If she would have stayed faithful, she would have been good. Curiosity killed the cat. No excuse. If you're going to cheat, just leave. Now, the guy that's trying to make it work, always going to have something to hang over her head. Okay. I mean, I can see what you're saying. I just had never seen, like I said, I just never seen that perspective before. For this guy to say, well, he needs to take accountability for the fact that he was working all the time and wasn't paying attention to his marriage. So she actually cheated to get his attention, as he put it. That made him open his eyes to what was wrong with his marriage, because she cheated, and to want to stay in it and fix his marriages seems a little, seems like she's playing mind games. Seems like she's got some sort of, Jedi mind trick on him, right? At least that's the way I see it, because there was no other way. But she did say, she explained to him that she needed more of his attention for him to be home a lot more. And that didn't work, apparently. The cheating worked. So I don't know. I mean, can you really hold it? How long can you hold cheating over somebody's head if you decided to stay? Once you decided to stay, right? I mean, I don't know. I always think it's the cheater's fault. I don't care. I don't know. I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to be a little more open-minded about it, but I just don't see how it's not the cheater's fault. But he's taking accountability and saying that it's not all her fault. So I don't know what kind of hypnotic whatever spell she's got over him. All right, 842-547-7. Yeah. It's crazy, right? So I was telling you a story about some friends of mine, a married couple, and she cheated on him. Well, they ended up working it out. They're staying together, and they were explaining it to me the other night, and she was saying how she tried to tell him, and he agreed with all this, by the way. So the story that I'm going to tell you that she said he agreed with. And she said she tried to talk to him that you're working too much. You need to spend more time with me. You need to be at home more, yada, yada, yada. Apparently, he didn't listen to that, and so she cheated. And he told me he saw her cheating as a wake-up call that he was ignoring his marriage. And so they're working it out. Already 42547. Good morning, now. What's going on?
Romeo, I think it's the cheater's fault. She can make all the excuses she wants, but at the end of the day, she chose to cheat, so...
I
don't think
would tend to agree with that. I would think that you never have to cheat. I would agree with you on that. But my buddy, he's making the excuse. He's taking part of the blame. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's a fool. And, there's a lot of things she could have done. She could have found time to crochet. She could have found time to cook, work out. But she didn't have to cheat. So your friend is a fool for going back with her. He should have took it as a red flag and got out of the relationship. But the fact that he wants to stay in it means that she's hella fine. She must be beautiful. But even then,
yeah, but he's rich.
Her.
But he's rich. So
he's dumb then, man. If he's rich, he can easily replace her.
They
get rid of her.
You think he bamboozled her? Him? He tricked him.
Yeah, loyalty is worth more than anything, and she broke that trust, so she needs to get out of that relationship.
Okay. All right. Maybe she did. Maybe she's playing Jedi mind tricks on him, making him believe that he was to blame, so that she's flipping the blame on him, so she can do what she wants and still keep her lifestyle. Maybe. Some friends of mine, they went through a little bit of a marriage problem. He was working a lot. She cheated on him. So I ran into him, and they were telling me how they were working it out. And apparently, she told him that he needed to spend more time with her, spend more time at home. He didn't really listen. Now, he verifies all this. We had the conversation together that he didn't listen to her. He still kept working and doing what he had to do. She ended up cheating on him, and that got his attention. So apparently, because of that, now he realized, hey, I got to spend more time with my wife, spend more time with my marriage, and now they're working it out. They're going to, so he took accountability for her cheating. Wow. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I always blame the cheater because that's just dirty. Hey, Rome, you can't always have everything you want. That you have a providing husband or a guy that doesn't give you nothing. Okay, fair enough. Hey, good morning, Romeo. Just end it. Throw her back. Don't let a person tell you twice that they don't love you. The whole time from meeting, having a conversation to setting up a hookup before the place of cheating. You didn't once think about me. I agree with you, Rome. Cheating is the most disrespectful thing that you can do to somebody. How do you think cheating is going to fix a relationship? She has no excuse. Man or woman, cheating is cheating. And that's what I tend to agree. But I'm just telling you based on their logic and what he was saying about the fact that my wife cheated on me because I wasn't there for her. She told me I wasn't there for her, and since I didn't fix that, she cheated, and that was what got my attention to go, you know what? Okay, I need to fix this relationship and this marriage. I don't know that I agree with that. He's taking responsibility and accountability for her cheating. He's not just blaming her for cheating. But I don't know. I always think it's the cheater's fault because you can find a way without cheating. And if you can't find a way to get what you want without cheating, why don't you leave? RD42547. You need to understand both sides. You need to understand they're not going to stop making men and women, okay? They're not going to stop making whatever you're into, they're not going to stop making those. So if you get cheated on, or you can move on. You'll find another. If you can find a spouse once, you can find another one. It's not that hard. Okay, yeah, there'll be some heartache. You'll be upset. Some feelings will be hurt. But you can always find somebody else. Always. We're talking about cheaters, and is it always the cheater's fault when it comes to a relationship? I think it always is, but I ran into some friends of mine who she cheated on her husband. She tried to tell him that she wasn't getting enough attention from him. He was working too much, and he didn't listen, so she cheated. And now they're working it. It was the wake-up call he needed to realize what she was going through, and he's taken basically the bulk of the responsibility for her cheating, which seems crazy, right? All right, 42547-7. Hey, Rome, I was cheated on too, but I was open for sex all the time, even when I was sick or in my time of the month. His excuse was it just happened. I was drunk. It's an accident. And when you got me, been emotional cheating on a guy, my husband called it different. Oh, wait. And when you got me
Emotionally cheating on a guy, my husband called it different. It was worse. I physically never slept with someone. I will say that, by the way, on top, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think the opposite of that. I think emotionally cheating on somebody is than just physically cheating on somebody. Because look how crazy people get caught up in their feelings and their emotions, and it can drive you to the point of just insanity, right? So yeah, no, I see what you're saying with that. Alrighty, 4254777. Just to answer, why is it different? Because she is the one that cheated. A woman that cheats is disgusting. A man brags about how many people he slept with. Women lie about it for a reason, because they know they lose value. Apples and oranges, cats and dogs, men and women, we are not the same. I don't know where you're going with that. Just to answer, why is it different? Because she is the one that cheated. It's not different. I don't know why you're saying it. It's not different. Rome, how many, I don't even know. Red to Rob, what are you talking about? Some of you guys need to just listen to the show. Red to Rob, today's your day to just listen, okay? Don't participate. Try again tomorrow. Alrighty, 4254777. We were talking about cheating, right? Is it ever the fault of the person who got cheated on? Because I was telling you a story about some friends of mine who are working on their marriage. She cheated on him because he worked too much. And she told him that. She said, hey, you're working too much. I need you to spend more time at home with me and our marriage. And he didn't listen. She cheated. And he says that was the wake-up call he needed. And so basically he took responsibility for her cheating, which I don't know if I believe that at all. I don't know what kind of punk-ass friend I got, but damn. Hey, Rome, what's up here? How would you send me here? What's up, Rome? I agree. It's the cheater's fault. Take out your issues. You make the decisions to cheat. Leave if you can't work it out. I don't agree that it's equal fault. I've always worked 2 or 3 jobs, coached sports, and was involved in playing sports while providing for the wife and the family. I had to find ways to still have time for the wife. I'm about to celebrate 28-year anniversary and been together off and on since we met in 91. I am no saint and made mistakes early, and it was never her fault. We worked through things, and I feel blessed to have her. But you got to listen to your spouse and make sure you are staying present. And there. So did you cheat on her and she stayed? For them, no one can make you step outside your marriage. No matter how bad you think it is. You ultimately made the choice on your own. Can't blame the one who didn't cheat. You can work it out through coming through a therapist's point of view. One who didn't cheat, mistakes in life, and you can't tell someone else they should have left if they choose to stay and work it out. Some can forgive that, and some can't. Have a blessed one. Raider James. Yeah, Raider James is usually very sensible. And I usually take Raider James's advice to heart because he's usually pretty good. But I don't know, man. I think cheating is the one thing you can't forgive and you can't forget. And you can't, I don't think, for my buddy to say that was the wake-up call he needed and now it's better, I don't know. We've been talking about some close friends of mine. They went through a little bit of a downturn in their marriage. She cheated on him, and I haven't talked to him in a while, but I ran into him the other night, and they're getting back together. They're staying together. They're going to work it out. Apparently, the way they broke it down to me was he basically blamed himself for her cheating. He basically said she was saying she didn't get enough attention. She didn't have time. He was too busy working. He was too busy working, didn't pay enough attention to her, and she told him that he didn't fix it, so she cheated. Basically, he's saying that that was his wake-up call. That was what made him realize that this was serious, and so now they're working it out, which, I mean, it sounds to me like she just straight bamboozled him into thinking that he was wrong. She just played some Jedi mind trick on him and made him believe he was wrong, because cheating, it's always the cheater's fault. Always. You're telling me one conversation, there's not something else to do? There's not another way to figure it out? Cheating was the only way to get it done? I mean, come on. I don't know if I can believe that. RD425477. Hey, Rome, I need to ask you about the people you know, and you're talking about how much money do they have? Is there any chance, you said he works a lot, is there any chance he's just staying together with her because cheaper than it is to have to give her half of everything? And does she work or not? Yeah. No, she does not work. And he makes very, 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 very good money. So I never occurred to me to ask him that. But maybe you're right. Next time I talk to him, I'll ask him if he's just staying with her because he doesn't want to give her half his stuff. Yeah, no, she doesn't work and he pays all the bills, but he's very wealthy. I mean, yeah, he makes a lot of money. RD425477. Hey, Rome, dumper. A woman that actually in love would communicate her feelings because the relationship is important to her. He's choosing to cheat. Or her choosing to cheat tells him everything he needs to know about her. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And what happens again? What happens if he works too much? You know, I mean, she's got the upper hand on him now instead of equality in the relationship? I mean, what do you do? You know, did he not work so much when you married him? That's the other thing. You know, I think she's got him wrapped around his finger under some sort of spell that he doesn't believe there's not somebody else better than her out there and he can't go get one. You can. Maybe I'll tell him that next time I see him. Hey, it's in a man's biology and DNA to cheat and to be with more than one woman. It's second nature to us, Rome. Prove me wrong. You won't. Oh, you're an idiot. I'll just say that right now. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Hey, Rome, what do you got here? Oh my gosh, this was Raider James that sent me this. Okay, it says, but Rome, the person who cheated on. Oh wait, hold on. The person who was cheated on will never forget it and will think about it off and on for the rest of their life. Multiple things will trigger that thought. Be ready for them to be upset at times and mad at you out of the blue. You get to deal with that because you made the mistake. If you can't then find ways to move on, find ways to co-parent as friends. If either one can't deal with the future arguments and it's coming back up at times. Well, that's why I said I don't think people will ever get over it. If you're anybody who cheats, you're never going to get over it. You may say you do. You may stay with the person for whatever justifications you've made to yourself in your head, but you're still going to always think about it. Anytime I like rated process, it's going to trigger. So what do? You know, you have to get over it. Once you decide to stay with the person that cheated on you, you have to just erase it from your memory. There's nothing you can do about it but erase it from your memory, and because you decided to stay there. At that point, it's on you, not the cheater.
If my girl would go out on me, it's over.
Okay.
It's over.
Okay.
When she's laying with me, I'll be thinking somebody touched her this way and that way, and I go to work for her, and she wants more. How much more do you want from a man working?
Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's nothing. That's a fair statement to make. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Already 42547. You can't argue with that. Or can you argue with that? You know? And I'm going to tell you, if the guy's just going to work to provide for you and you have the audacity to blame him for your infidelity because you're not getting the attention that you want, now that you said that, now that I'm starting to think about it and process it even more listening to what you guys have to say, my buddy's an idiot. He's completely wrong to take any responsibility for her cheating because, well, she could have done 100 other things before cheating. Or she could have just left him and said, look, I'm not getting out of this marriage what I want because you work too much. I need a little more attention. I'm the type of woman that needs more attention from a man, and you're not giving it to me because of how much you work. And he makes a lot of money, so they live a nice life. So I'm going to guess that at a certain point, she liked the lifestyle and got entitled and selfish with the lifestyle, but never looked at how it was actually provided for her. Now she wanted her husband. Yeah, you got to go. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I know a lot of these independent women are going to get so upset at me. If you're a woman that just wants to marry a wealthy man or a man that makes a legitimate amount of money to where you can have a nice lifestyle and stay at home, there's nothing wrong with that. But it does come with, it comes with some hurdles for you. You're going to be spending a lot of time alone or a lot of time with your friends, or you may have to find other outlets to do things because your husband is going to be working so much or doing what he has to make that money. Millionaires work a lot. They're not all, it's not all fun and games. When you marry somebody who has money and they got that money because of their aggressive work ethic. Okay? So they don't just stop. And you guys got to understand that. You women got to understand that. There's nothing wrong with it if you want that type of man, but you have to realize what you're getting. Okay? And you have to make peace with that. You can't just cheat and go, well, you drove me to it. So, yeah. I still think it's always the cheater's fault. RD42547-7. Hey, Rome, in a marriage, you can't keep a scoreboard. If you decide to stay, you need to be able to wipe the scoreboard clean back to zero and not bring back past hurts or mistakes in any argument or fights you have because you've forgiven. Oh, you've forgiven that and stayed. Now, if you can't do that, that relationship isn't for you. Move on. Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely. Rome, just curious, would you personally give her another chance after hearing her excuses for cheating? I would never stay with a cheater ever. But, yeah, I would never stay with a cheater. There's no reason to stay with a cheater because you know that they always say the grass is greener. The grass may not be greener. Okay, so let me just put it to you like that. But it doesn't mean that it can't be, well, let me rephrase that the way I say that. I think that you can always find somebody, and maybe the grass is greener. I think people use that as an excuse when they try to find something better than what they have and it doesn't work out for them. But you can go find something better than what you have. I believe that. But if what you have is great, then why would you even be looking? And that's the problem that I have when we talk about cheating or the grass is greener is that, if I got cheated on, there's plenty of women out there. I'll go out and find another one. It really is that simple. But it's also that simple because I'm a great guy with a great personality. I'm fun. I know how to talk to women. And if you can get one woman to marry you, you can get another woman to marry. If you can get one woman to go out with you, you can get another woman to go out with you. So, and there's a lot of great women. You may have the best you may have the best wife in the world, right? And that's great. But guess what? There is a woman that is as equally great as your wife right now who's single. She just hasn't found the guy. She hasn't found you. And that's just fact. Okay? But a lot of times what happens is men and women will find a justification to cheat on their guy or their girl because they're not happy for something. So they think that's going to make them happier. And it's not. But I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it to you. But there's always somebody good. I don't want to say better. The grass is green. But there's always somebody just as good as the person you're married to out there right now who's single. And you would have just as good of a relationship or marriage. Okay? So I just don't, when you look at life like that, you'll never lose. A lot of you think, oh man, this is the best guy I'm ever get or the best woman I'm ever going to have. So, no, it's not. If it goes south, because she did you wrong, you're going to go out and find somebody who's going to treat and do you good. Opposite goes for every woman out there who sits there and goes, my husband's just a liar and a cheater. Well, okay, you made a bad decision. Or maybe he turned into that. Not because of you. He just, opportunity changed him. Life changed him. You can go out and find a guy who's just as good as your husband when you loved him the most. He's out there waiting for you. That's just life. Hey, Rome, there's no excuse whatsoever. Cheating is a choice, not a mistake. No matter the situation, she definitely did something to him for him to stay with her. Oh, she definitely did something to him for him to stay with her. She should have talked about it with her partner, let him know how she felt. She said she did, by the way, just so you know, just to be fair. What he's working too much, if nothing changes, then move on. You don't need to cheat. And as far as him getting back with her, it's crazy. She doesn't work. She needs to get her blank to work. He needs to drop her and move on. There's plenty of fish in the sea. No person is worth staying after getting cheated on. I would totally agree with that. You're right. What'd you send me here? Hey, good morning, Romeo. My husband works a lot, and in the beginning, it would at times get to me, but now I understand. You have to be very strong-minded to handle all what comes with a partner that works hard, but also plays hard. I have a lot of friends, and what I hear is they want a man that is a full package: work, date nights, pay the bills, fix the house, still be romantic, but just, in my opinion, pick your poison and just be happy. Some of these women want everything, but then just give out their goods at the bar for free, but cry they can't find a good person or they can't find a good man. In the end, we can't have it all. Have a great morning. You're absolutely right about that. In the end, you cannot have it all. You can have 80% of that, 20% of this, 70% of this, 10% of that, 20% of here. I mean, there's always going to be, you can't have it all. You're absolutely right. I agree with exactly what and a lot of these women are delusional, but they get delusional after they get into the relationship. That's the problem. Everybody wants a hardworking man. Every woman out there that wants a hardworking man thinks it's great when she meets him and he's working 10 hours a day, coming home, in his work boots and his overalls, making $200,000 a year. And they like to go out and have some drinks and party hard. And then after a little while, they want more. They don't want him to work 10 hours. They want him to work 8 hours. And then they want, more social time and more. I mean, it just, you made a bad decision. You gotta pick the guy that gives you the most of what you want, because he's never going to give it all to you. Just like you're never. I know a lot of you women, you need to really hear this. You're not giving it all to him, okay? And you're not. You change just as much as he does, and he has to understand that. So why don't you understand him? So why'd you get fired? 842-547-7. Good morning. What's going on?
Hey, Ron. Back in 2003, I used to work for a football stadium.
Okay.
And my job was to escort the visiting teams to and from the locker rooms and back to their buses.
Okay.
So it was a cool job. I was in security, so it was my favorite job. I had a lot of good times, met a lot of good people.
Yeah.
Well, so this day that I got fired, my football team was playing against the team that I worked for. And underneath my work shirt, I have a white T-shirt. I had my football team's logo underneath, and you could see it showing through.
Yeah.
And so and everyone where I worked with, they all knew that I liked this team instead of the one I worked for. I never made a secret about it.
Okay.
And so this day, the game was over, and my team was going back to the buses. And a football player said, "Hey, you're a fan." And I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Let me get you a signature." And I said, "Oh, no, I can't do that." And he's like, "I ain't going to tell nobody." I said, "Yeah, but I can get in trouble." No, don't worry about it. So he took a marker and he scribbled across. He unzipped he pulled my jacket to the side and he scribbled on it. And then he zipped it back up and gave me the marker. And I was like, "All right, cool, whatever." He got on the bus. I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And so he leaves or whatever. And the next day it was my day off. And I went home and I go, "Oh, I'm going to give this shirt to my brother for Christmas. I didn't have a gift for him." So I'll just give him my autographed shirt. It was his favorite team too.
Okay.
So I go get my check, and they told me to open the envelope. And so I opened it, and there was a piece of paper behind it. I'm like, "What's this?" And they're like, you messed up. You did a really big mistake." And I said, "Oh, what'd I do?" And they're like, you're being fired. And I said, why? What? I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And they said, did you not get a signature from a football player? And I said, no. I said, no.
Wow.
He forced it on me and gave me the signature. I'm not going to. He's like, well, you didn't put up a fight. I said, listen, I'm not going to put my hands on a multi-million-dollar player. And what if he falls down and gets hurt and he's out the game? I'm in trouble. Like, the whole nation's going to hate me. Like, I'm not doing something like that. And then they said, well, you know what? We can't have you work here anymore. And I had some football tickets. It was for a Super Bowl. I had a 4-pack that I had got. I earned it from work. They were giving it to me as a gift. They took the gift back.
Wow.
And fired me on my day off.
Damn, that is petty. That has got to be one of the stupidest reasons to fire him. Just because.
Then what made it worse was that I had already promised the tickets to my dad, my stepmom, my little brother, and my sister, and they were already going to come for the Super Bowl.
Oh my God!
And then to add insult to injury, my team lost anyway.
That's awful. That's just horrible.
I got fired because I got a signature, even though I said no. And I go, how did you even find out about it? We had cameras.
That's just awful. That has got to be the stupidest reason ever to fire somebody. It's just got to be horrible. That's just ridiculous. All over. That's so stupid. That's so
after
stupid.
I got fired, I'm going to be honest with you, I went and cried in the truck. I did. I cried. And then when my team lost, I cried even harder. So I was like, damn it, that's why they lost, because I wasn't there to cheer them on. And that's my story.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, thanks for calling.
All right, have a good one. Bye.
And I know you guys are asking me why didn't I ask her what teams they were? Well, it's not the bit. We're talking about why'd you get fired? Either a dumb reason, maybe it was a legitimate reason. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I've been fired from quite a few. I've been fired, let's see. I've been fired once, twice. No, 3 times. I've been fired 3 times in my life. All right, 842-547-7. Yo, Rome, once I got fired from Mary Kay Shell Psychiatric Evaluation Center. The back door was broken and everyone knew it. Sometimes it would lock, sometimes it wouldn't. It was supposed to lock automatically. A patient got out and stripped naked. I couldn't catch him. I took the blame and was fired. Cops don't come to a naked guy call. Oh. Yeah, I mean, sometimes things happen. We're talking about getting fired. Why'd you get fired? Hey, Rome, crazy story. I was about 25 2 years ago. I date this woman, 22 at the time. And at the job I was cool with everyone. It was all guys, and we would talk about crazy stuff. That would get HR called. I would get HR called on us. My boss, he as well, would get involved. And I'd tell my coworkers and bosses about the wild stuff I would do with this woman. So after dating the woman for 2 years, she wanted me to meet her parents. So she set up dinner and everything. I pull up to her house, walk through the door, and see my boss from work, literally Romeo, kicked me out of his house, called HR on me, and got fired by lunchtime the next day. Before I left, sent all the sex videos I had with my boss's daughter to my coworkers. Oh my God. Why? What did the chick do? You broke up with the chick too? Hey, Rome, this is Seahawk Lou. I got fired from my last job because I would call off Saturday and Sunday too much. I think that's unfair. So why'd you get fired? Good morning, Hot. What's going on?
Romeo, I got fired before from Macy's for doing loyalty fraud.
Loyalty fraud? What is loyalty fraud?
So when you work at Macy's, you get like loyalty points when you pay for stuff. There's this mom that was school shopping, but she didn't have enough. But I had loyalty points, so I gave them to her so she could have enough for her school clothes for her kids.
Uh-huh.
And they fired me.
They fired you for helping somebody out.
Yeah, literally. And I asked them, like, well, what am I getting fired for? They're like, loyalty fraud. I'm all like, but they were my points. They're like, yeah, but we're not allowed to do that. So I got fired.
Really? Okay. Yeah. That's weird.
At least the kids went to school looking nice.
Yeah, that's good. That's crazy. All right. Hey, thanks for calling.
Later.
Bye.
All right, 842-547-7. Yo, Rome, I got fired because my boss at the time was a something, and I called him out on it, and I'm private event, went to HR, and I still got the boot. Was a what? Oh, yeah, I think you meant to say something different, but okay. Talking about getting fired, man. Why'd you get fired? 842-547-7. Good morning, Hop. What's going on?
What's up, man? I got fired for being afraid of spiders, man.
All right, you're gonna have to explain that. What?
I was working at Big West, man. I was doing landscaping and stuff. So I was using weed eaters, ride-on lawnmowers, blowers, and stuff like that. Then somehow, some part of the year, I guess there's a lot of tumbleweeds out there at Big West. So the tumbleweeds get the blowing in, but the tumbleweeds ain't no normal tumbleweeds. The tumbleweeds like the size of truck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they tell me that there's brown recluse spiders in the tumbleweeds. So I get to thinking back to the training videos of the wounds that I've seen from brown recluses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm not grabbing that tumbleweed. So he hands me a pitchfork. I'm looking like a pitchfork. Needless to say, that was my last day on the job.
That's crazy, man. All right, hey, thanks for calling.
All right, man. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, how's going on?
Rome!
What's up, man?
So
What's
I
that?
didn't get fired, but so my boss's mistress got fired because I was hooking up with her and he found out.
They didn't fire you, though?
No, he couldn't fire me.
Damn! All right. Way to get a
Couldn't
girl
fire
fired.
me because there was no real reason to fire me and I was already fully invested in the company.
Damn, but they fired her, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Way to
Only
get her
been there
fired.
like 4 months.
All right, man, later. Let's talk about getting fired. All right, 842-547-7. Let's see here, Rome. I got fired because they found out I lied on my job application if I had any felonies in my background check. Only reason they found out is because I told the manager I felt comfortable enough to tell because she was also doing bad things at work. Example, as in a group of us were taking tequila shots a day before New Year's, but she felt strongly the next day that she had to tell upper management about me lying on my application. Yeah. Hey, if you're gonna lie, man, you gotta stick to the lie, man. Always stick to the lie. Hey, Rome, I only got fired once for a good reason. But my sister used to work at Subway, and sometimes we go in, she'd hook us up, and one time we made a bet. She made me a big-ass sandwich with every meat, cheese, sauce, and veggie in it. She told me if I finished the sandwich, it was free, so I finished it and threw it up in the middle of the Subway. My sister got fired for that. Wow. RD42547-7. And yo, Rome, I got fired because I told my boss she was horrible in bed. That'll do it. Rome, my brother and I got fired for stealing a $30 roll of plastic. Yeah. Hey, Rome, I lost the job because I clock out 3 minutes over my 5th hour. Night manager said he was going to fix it because they had me come in an hour earlier than my usual schedule because of the Black Friday shopping. But I was holding down 2 full-time jobs. Then a week later, they said it wasn't going to get done. Oh, they said things were not getting done in the departments like they wanted. I was there covering 5 different departments and help out at a cash register. Then they told me to reapply. I told them no, that's their loss. Wow, that's crazy. Rome, haven't got fired yet, but on my way to go see HR right now. I kept telling this roughneck that he stinks like you know what. After a month of me taking you know what about how bad he smells, he went crying to the office. What a punk. Take a shower and I won't talk smack. Oh. So you might be losing your job today. Talking about getting fired. What happened? 842-547-7. Yo, Rome. I got a funny story. Hey, I got a crazy story of how I got fired. I used to work in media here in town, a Spanish station. Okay, to make it short, the wife who runs sales came and snapped her fingers at me, going all crazy while I was in a short meeting with a salesperson. It got me so bad because it wasn't the first time. Oh, got so mad. It wasn't the first time that she did that. So
So I went to social media and said the following. I guess she didn't get any D last night. No names, nothing, but she took it personal. 2 days later, I was fired by her husband, the main GM. After that incident, the company made employees sign waivers on social media. That was back in 2014. Okay. I thought it was your wife. Okay, it was somebody else's wife. Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah, I was working at a golf course one time when we were kids. And, the golf range, the little thing that goes out and picks up the balls.
Yes.
Yeah, well, our tractor was broken, so they had a makeshift one with the golf cart. Me and this other kid that worked there, we told him, no, we're not going out there, had no protection. So the guy in charge, he went out there, so me and the other kid grabbed a couple of golf clubs, and we started hitting balls trying to hit him. Yeah, so I got fired. The other kid didn't because his dad was a member of the golf course. I was a guy.
That is hilarious. Dumbass kids, man. Yo, Rome, I got fired because I got married during a blackout date. Even though I put my request in advance, they said I needed to report to work. I worked at a gym. Why does a gym even have blackout dates? Yeah, why? Hey, Rome, I got fired from a grape freezer for throwing grapes at someone, and someone was recording me and showed it to the boss. Hey, Rome, I worked for a company for 8 years. First time getting in trouble was when I got caught sleeping, and they fired me that same day. They told me I could fill an application for my job back. I turned it down, and they called me back 2 months later wanting me back. Well, did you go back? Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Hey, Romeo. So back in the day, I worked at PetSmart, of all places. I worked at PetSmart.
Okay.
And there was a customer that was really upset, and he wanted to speak with management, right? So we call over the manager, and this guy, I don't even know what's going through his head. He flips out, and he slams the manager up against the wall and is holding him there, and everybody's panicking, and they all run behind the cash registers, right? Okay, back then, I was a solid 280, right?
Okay.
And I jumped on this guy's back and just threw my body weight back. We fall to the floor, and I just laid on top of this guy. Laid on top of him. The manager ended up trying to hold him down a little bit, called the cops. The cops get there. I get up. They take him, and I got fired for getting involved.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Man, that's cold. Wow.
Right.
Hey, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
That's cold right there. Hey, Rome, I got fired from Old Navy because I told a lady who specifically just watched me fold an entire table not to touch the stack of T-shirts and just tell me what size she was looking for because I'm not folding them again. You can fold them back yourself if you mess them up. Well, customer's always right?
Romeo in the Morning.
Every morning.
On Hot 94.1.